You were not broken by catastrophe. You were eroded by the tiny moments you dismissed. Every snooze button you smashed. Every promise you whispered but did not keep. Every excuse you told yourself when no one was watching. It wasn't the hurricanes that broke you. It was the slow drip of neglected decisions. Now you sit here, feeling the rising dread that time is moving faster than your dreams, that your energy is decaying into anxiety, and the worst fear of all, that you might live and die as just another average name no one remembers. You ache for something more, a secret hunger for respect, for self-mastery, for a legacy that doesn't rot with time. But desire is not enough. You have been trapped by the oldest lie that transformation comes from big moves, grand moments, sweeping changes. Life is changed by the tiny hidden habits you think don't matter. And unless you seize them, unless you master them, they will quietly drag you into a life of regret. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are simply untrained in the only battle that matters, the daily war for the inches that make up your destiny. And that is why you must stay with me until the final second of this message. Because before the end, you will not only understand the 10 tiny habits that will transform your life, you will understand how to reprogram your subconscious to protect them like oxygen. This isn't information. This is resurrection. And it begins with mastery of the smallest spaces. Here are the 10 forces that will become your armor. First, the sacred ritual of morning clarity. Rising and ruling your first waking moments before the world steals your mind. Second, the unbreakable code of micro-commitments. Training yourself to keep the smallest promises without exception. Building indestructible self-trust. Third, the relentless habit of movement. Every day breaking the body's decay with daily discipline. Forging energy at the cellular level. Fourth, the mindset-sharpening act of strategic silence. Carving spaces of pure thought in a world of noise where your real power grows. Fifth, the sovereignty practice of single-task focus, killing multitasking. Living entirely inside the task at hand and compounding mastery. Sixth, the emotional discipline of the evening audit, scanning your day without mercy, confronting the truth before it becomes a cancer. Seventh, the secret weapon of micro-learning, feeding your mind daily with strategic knowledge instead of entertainment, sharpening the blade. Eighth, the sacred act of daily gratitude resistance, not passive gratitude, but active aggressive thankfulness that defeats bitterness and despair. Ninth, the rare practice of building invisible assets, doing work no one sees, building power and leverage in silence. And 10th, the immortal act of long-term identity sculpting, crafting your future self every day with tiny, almost imperceptible strokes, until one day the world wakes up to a masterpiece you already knew was inevitable. These are not random. These are weapons. They are the overlooked disciplines that separate the average life from the legendary one. Most people dismiss them because they are too small, too quiet, too easy to ignore. But make no mistake, in the war of life, it is not the loud battles that decide the outcome, it is the accumulation of the unnoticed. And if you master these, you will no longer chase greatness. You will become it. Bold line, greatness is not seized. It is silently compounded. Bold line, your future is buried inside the tiny decisions you are still underestimating. This is where your resurrection begins. Not in some grand cinematic transformation, but here, now, in the silent, lonely moments where you decide to choose your highest self over your lesser one. This is the emotional trap you must shatter, the belief that someday it will all magically align. It won't. You must align it, ruthlessly, patiently, daily. And if you stay with me and if you execute with brutal consistency, you will forge a mind and spirit so unbreakable that even life itself will have to respect you. This is the call. This is the reckoning. Welcome to the resurrection of your real self. You have been lied to about change. You have been taught that transformation is volcanic, explosive, undeniable from the beginning. But the truth is colder, harder, sharper. Real change is silent. It is invisible at first. It is the slow, merciless compounding of microscopic victories that seem at the time to matter little. But when stacked ruthlessly over days, over weeks, over years, they become unstoppable. You have been hypnotized by highlight reels and overnight success stories, but here is the deeper law of life. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And the first system you must break and rebuild is your identity, because if you still see yourself as someone trying to change, you will fail. You must become the person who has already changed internally before the external world reflects it. This is the shift. This is the crossing of the invisible threshold most people never find. And to guide you across it, you must learn from those who already walked it with bloody feet and unshakable will. Let me introduce you to three souls who mastered this hidden law of compounding mastery: Bruce Lee, Napoleon Bonaparte, and Leonardo da Vinci. Bruce Lee, the legend of movement and mind, understood that mastery was not about 1,000 different skills, it was about the ruthless perfection of a few vital habits. His famous words echo like a war drum even now. I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. Lee was not building muscles, he was building inevitability. His discipline was invisible before it became undeniable. He chose the tiniest moments and forged them into an unstoppable force. And then there was Leonardo da Vinci, often remembered as a genius beyond reach. But his true magic was not in his innate talent, it was in his obsessive, relentless micro-learning. Leonardo dissected cadavers to study anatomy when others sketched from guesswork. He filled notebook after notebook with sketches, observations, calculations. Tiny daily victories of curiosity and discipline that compounded made him eternal. These men understood something you have forgotten, that your life is being carved by your invisible disciplines far more than by your visible ambitions. They did not wait for motivation, they forged rituals that birthed it. They did not wait for the world to crown them, they crowned themselves every day in the quiet, lonely spaces where real power grows. This is the mindset you must steal like fire. You are not here to dabble. You are here to reforge your reality from the inside out, to layer microscopic victories until the outside world has no choice but to bow. You are not building a habit, you are building a new identity. Every time you rise with morning clarity, you are voting for the future ruler of your life. Every time you honor a micro-commitment, you are carving self-respect into your bones. Every time you move your body daily, you are defying entropy, rewriting decay into vitality. Every time you practice strategic silence, you are sharpening your mind into a weapon that cannot be dulled by noise. Every time you single task, you are wielding focus like a blade in a world full of blunt minds. Every evening you conduct an audit without excuses, you harden your armor against self-delusion. Every drop of micro-learning you sip strengthens your mind until it is unrecognizable. Every act of daily gratitude resistance armors your heart against the acid of bitterness. Every piece of invisible work you build in silence becomes leverage that no one can steal. Every decision you make to sculpt your identity with microscopic, unseen acts becomes a brick in the fortress of your legacy. And understand this, there will be no applause for these acts. No one will see the mornings you conquer your mind before sunrise. No one will see the micro-decisions you defend in the darkness. But one day, everyone will see the empire you built while they slept. Bold line. Legends are made in the invisible hours. Bold line. What you do unseen will one day become undeniable. You are not here to fix your life. You are here to rebuild yourself as something that life itself cannot break. Bruce Lee did not practice for applause, he practiced for war. Leonardo da Vinci did not sketch for praise, he sketched because the discipline itself was his liberation. And now you will walk the same road. You will master the 10 tiny habits, not as techniques, but as acts of rebellion against the decay that is hunting your dreams. Every habit is a blade. Every choice is a cut against mediocrity. Every silent, uncelebrated victory is a thread in the flag you will one day plant atop your highest mountain. This is not self-improvement. This is resurrection. You will feel resistance. You will hear the old voice whisper, "This is too small to matter." Kill that voice. Smother it with relentless execution. Refuse to let it rise. Because the truth is brutal. There are only 2 futures available to you from this moment on. The life you were sedated into tolerating or the life you ruthlessly carve into existence. Decide. Burn it into your mind. There is no middle ground, no neutral, only forward or rot. You are not who you were yesterday, and by the time we finish this journey, you will not recognize the power you have become. Welcome to the shift. Welcome to war. Power is not seized in moments of triumph. It is built silently in the trenches of discipline. You have begun the shift. You have seen the truth. But seeing is not enough. Now you must train. Now you must forge yourself into the kind of person who does not negotiate with weakness. Mental training begins not with external force, but with internal arrangement. You must become the architect of your first thoughts and your final acts, and it starts with morning clarity. Morning clarity is not a motivational idea. It is a non-negotiable law. The first minutes of your day are the commander of your consciousness. If you let chaos invade first, you have already surrendered the battle. Your mind must be seized the moment you wake. You will train yourself to rise immediately, not roll, not scroll, not snooze. You will sit with yourself in silent defiance of the world's noise. You will take ownership of your mind before the world pollutes it. Visualize your highest self. Commit to one clear priority for the day, one mission that if completed will move your life forward. Journal it if you must, speak it aloud if you must, but brand it onto your mind. This is not about checking boxes, this is about claiming sovereignty. You must not leave the fortress gates of your mind open. Morning clarity is the act of sealing them shut before the world can invade. This single practice done ruthlessly will separate you from the 98% who wander into their days like prisoners without chains. And once you own your morning, you must own your promises. Enter micro-commitments, the sacred discipline of making and keeping the smallest promises to yourself without exception. Understand this, the world is not broken because people aim too low. It is broken because they aim in bursts, inconsistently, sloppily. You are not here to try hard. You are here to stack undeniable proof of self-trust. Start smaller than you think necessary. Promise yourself one act, a 2-minute journal, a 10 push-up burst, a cold shower without negotiation. Whatever it is, do it without excuse, without delay, without drama. Small victories done perfectly are worth more than big victories imagined loudly. When you honor these micro-commitments, even when no one sees, you are building a silent empire inside yourself. You are voting again and again for the identity of a person who finishes what they start. And make no mistake, how you do the small things bleeds into how you do the large things. If you cannot keep a small promise, you will shatter under a large one. If you master the tiny duties of self-trust, life will eventually place larger duties in your hands. Duties that lead to wealth, to leadership, to respect. This is the beginning of the mental training that reshapes your reality. Bruce Lee understood this better than anyone. His daily routines were not glamorous. They were repetitive, brutal, precise. He knew that under stress, under chaos, you do not rise to the level of fantasy. You fall to the level of your training. When the storm comes, you will not be saved by hope. You will be saved by the ruthless habits you have beaten into your character. Self-discipline, forged through micro-commitments, becomes automatic authority over your own life. And Leonardo da Vinci lived it in obscurity for years, committing to private invisible mastery before the world ever knew his name. He did not announce his greatness. He accumulated it silently, sketch by sketch, observation by observation, until it became undeniable. Now it is your turn to train. Your mind will resist you. It will beg for comfort. It will plead for delay. You must meet these voices not with debate, but with decisive, relentless action. Get up before the weakness becomes language. Seal your mind in clarity before the distractions become decisions. Execute your smallest promises before your brain has a chance to rationalize failure. And here is the brutal beauty of it all. The world will not reward you immediately. You will not receive applause for keeping your micro-commitments. You will be invisible for a while. Good. That is where real strength is born. Bold line discipline done unseen becomes power revealed unexpectedly. Bold line train until it would be irrational for you to fail. Every morning you own your clarity. Every tiny promise you complete without hesitation is another brick laid in the fortress of the unstoppable. Do not confuse drama with depth. Most people chase emotion. You must chase alignment. Your emotional state is irrelevant. Only your execution matters. This is how you program your subconscious to stop sabotaging you. Repetition. Relentless, ruthless, repetitive victory at the tiniest levels until your brain realizes that quitting is no longer on the menu. No motivation required. Only alignment, only identity, only war. You are no longer the person who tries. You are the person who executes. Morning clarity is your first strike. Micro commitments are your daily oath. Stack them. Obsess over them. Guard them with your life. And understand the rewards are not small. They are life-altering. Win the micro moments and you will win the macro war. Lose them and nothing else will save you. You are no longer training for comfort. You are training for inevitability. Now move. Most people are slaves to their emotions without ever realizing it. They mistake feeling for fact, comfort for truth, reaction for reality. But you must become something different. You must become a creature of control, forged not in the absence of emotion, but in the mastery of it. Emotional mastery is not sterilization. It is domination. It is the art of standing firm while the world convulses. And the first tool you will wield in this domain is the habit of movement every day. Understand this. Your body is not a passenger in your life. It is a weapon. Neglect it, and it will betray you. Sharpen it, and it will save you. Movement is not about aesthetics or vanity. It is about emotional dominance. When you move your body daily, whether it's a brutal workout, a silent walk, a martial discipline, you are signaling to your brain that you are not prey, that you are in command, that you are alive. Physical movement is the oldest language of strength known to humanity. It rewires your chemistry, floods your mind with the neurotransmitters of power, burns away the chemical residues of fear. On the days when your mind betrays you, when your spirit cracks, it will be the memory of your own strength, hammered into your muscles, that saves you. Bruce Lee trained his body with ruthless daily precision, not for appearance, but for readiness, for flow, for unbreakable mind-body unity. Every push-up, every punch, every sprint was a prayer to resilience. When you move daily, you do not just train muscles, you train spirit. You remind your nervous system who is in charge, and then you pair it with strategic silence, the rarest, most powerful form of emotional control in an age addicted to noise. In a world that cannot stop reacting, cannot stop speaking, cannot stop bleeding out its energy into every digital skirmish, strategic silence is a declaration of sovereignty. It is not mere absence of noise, it is presence intentional and sharp. You must build the discipline to sit alone with your own mind and not flinch. To let the chaos rage around you without offering your energy to it. Every day, for a few minutes at minimum, you must retreat from the world's demands and reforge your center in silence. No distractions, no scrolling, no passive consumption. Only you, your thoughts, your breathing, your unshakable resolve. Leonardo da Vinci understood this deeply. He would vanish from court life, retreat into his own mind, and emerge with inventions that shifted the course of history. His strategic withdrawal was not laziness, it was active gestation of greatness. In stillness, you learn to master your internal weather. You learn to feel the rising tides of fear, anger, or doubt, and to let them pass like storms without surrendering your ship. Most people are tossed like leaves by their emotions. You will become the mountain. You will not react, you will decide. Every day you practice movement. Every day you remind your body it is a fortress. Every day you enter strategic silence. You remind your mind it is a weapon. Together they forge emotional sovereignty. The ability to act according to your highest goals, not your lowest moods. Bold line, he who masters his inner storms masters the outer world. Bold line, your emotions are wild horses. You are the rider, or you are the trampled. And here's the brutal truth. You will be tempted to skip these disciplines when you need them most. When the depression sinks in, when the anxiety claws at your chest, when the laziness whispers its sweet venom, that is precisely when you must lean in harder. Move even when you feel heavy. Sit in silence even when your mind screams for distraction. Every time you win this internal battle, you carve a new identity into your subconscious. The identity of a master. This training is not sexy. It will not produce immediate fireworks, but over time it will turn you into something unshakable, untouchable, inevitable. When the storms of life come, and they will, you will not be frantic, gasping for tools you never forged. You will be calm, precise, lethal. Bruce Lee did not rise to mythical status by being the fastest or strongest. He became legend because under pressure he was liquid steel. Da Vinci was not the most privileged, nor the most supported. He became eternal because he could think in silence while others panicked. And now it is your turn. This is your moment to train, not for today's convenience, but for tomorrow's inevitability. Each day you conquer your body and your mind. Even for a minute, you are planting a flag inside yourself that will one day fly high when others fall. Movement every day. Strategic silence. These are not tasks, they are declarations. Declarations that you refuse to be a puppet of circumstance. Declarations that you will move and you will think and you will live by your highest self, not by your lowest urges. Most people are marionettes pulled by invisible string. You are cutting the strings. You are taking the knife into your own hands. Move, breathe, be silent, and ride. You were not born simply to survive. You were born to leave fingerprints on eternity. Legacy is not a gift handed to the talented. It is a consequence of discipline compounded over decades, carved into reality by invisible choices no one sees and no one applauds until the end. Legacy is the result of living so intentionally that the echo of your existence rings louder than the noise of your times. And to live at that level, you must train yourself to wield two rare forces: single task focus and the evening audit. Single task focus is the lost art of channeling your mind into a weapon of singular precision. In a world fractured by distraction, he who can work undistracted is a god among men. Focus is not natural, it is trained. Your mind, left undisciplined, will leap from task to task like a drunkard across rooftops, accomplishing nothing, shattering potential into dust. You must train yourself ruthlessly to lock onto one task at a time as if it were life itself. When you work, you work. When you create, you create. When you train, you train. No tabs open, no screens flickering, no divided attention bleeding your genius into the gutter. Bruce Lee mastered his body, yes, but his real power was his mind's ability to shut out all distractions, to inhabit the moment with totality. Leonardo da Vinci could spend hours absorbed in a single invention, a single sketch, losing himself so completely in the task that the boundaries between self and work dissolved. And Miyamoto Musashi, the undefeated samurai of legend, perfected focus as a matter of life and death. Musashi was not distracted by ceremony, by gossip, by vanity. He lived with a blade in his hand and purpose in his mind. He believed the mind must flow with clarity in the midst of chaos or be destroyed by it. Every battle he won, every duel he survived, was a testament to the supremacy of undivided thought. True single-task focus feels like war, because it is. It is a war against your own fragmented impulses, against the seduction of the easy and the trivial. And you win it by training your mind to suffer the initial restlessness, to push through the invisible wall of boredom and emerge into flow, the sacred space where mastery is born. Every time you choose one task and bleed your full attention into it, you are chiseling yourself into a rare and dangerous creature, someone who can do deep work in a shallow world. And what you begin with, single task focus, you refine and sharpen with the evening audit, the unflinching nightly confrontation with your truth. The evening audit is not journaling. It is not self-therapy. It is war counsel. It is sitting down with your soul and asking, did I fight well today? It is facing without flinching the reality of your actions. What did I win? Where did I fall? Where did I negotiate with weakness? Where did I advance my legacy? Where did I betray it? This practice is not for the faint-hearted. Most people will never do it because it hurts to look directly at your failures. Good. Let it hurt. Pain is the blade that sharpens awareness. You will not use the evening audit to excuse yourself or console yourself. You will use it to expose the enemy within. And every night you perform this ritual with ruthless honesty, you forge a mind that cannot be seduced by self-deception. Bruce Lee refined his craft daily, analyzing each move, perfecting each imperfection. Da Vinci kept obsessive notes, not to boast, but to confront reality and refine it. Musashi lived by the law of reflection, perfecting his way not through talk but through analysis of battle, writing, refining, studying his victories and near failures without ego, without pity. He knew that one undetected weakness could mean death. You are doing the same, not to avoid death of the body but death of the spirit, death of potential. You are not beating yourself up, you are sculpting yourself. Legacy is not built by pretending every day was a victory. Legacy is built by bleeding the truth every night and rising stronger the next morning. Bold line, legacy is not a matter of luck, it is a matter of ledgered battles won in silence. Bold line, your greatness will not be written in grand speeches. It will be inked in the private decisions no one witnessed but you. Most will not endure this discipline. They will flee back into distraction, into excuses, into comforting lies. They will age into mediocrity, wondering why life cheated them. Life cheated no one. They refuse to train. You are different. You have decided to see clearly, to act deliberately, to cut ruthlessly. Every day you focus like a warrior, every night you audit like a king. You are building something that will outlast you. Your body will age. Your name will not. Your energy will wane. Your echo will rise. This is not self-improvement. This is immortality train. You are carving your name into the bones of time, stroke by discipline, stroke, invisible day after invisible day. You are moving differently now, thinking differently now. You are thinking in centuries, not second. You are aligning every action, every breath, every stray thought to something higher than comfort, to a legacy so real that one day when the dust has settled and the distractions have died, someone will stand before your name and feel the gravitational pull of what you became. Single task focus, evening audit, the twin blades of daily immortality. Master them and history will have no choice but to remember you. There comes a moment when all preparation fades, all strategies dissolve, and only one question remains. Will you rise or will you rot? This is that moment. You have learned the disciplines, you have begun to see the battlefield clearly. Now you must forge your final weapons. Micro-learning, gratitude resistance, and the invisible empire you will build in silence. Micro-learning is the sacred act of sharpening your mind daily, relentlessly, without fanfare. It is not passive consumption, it is war feeding. You must make it a law that every day your mind consumes something that strengthens your thinking, that expands your strategic clarity, that fortifies your emotional resilience. 5 minutes of studying mastery. 10 pages of history. A lesson from a mind greater than yours. Drop by ruthless drop, you are filling the reservoirs of wisdom that most people drain dry in the flood of mediocrity. Leonardo da Vinci never let a day pass without feeding his mind. He read, observed, dissected, sketched, not for entertainment but for evolution. He planted seeds daily that centuries later still bear fruit. You will do the same. Feed your mind like a soldier sharpens his blade obsessively, deliberately, urgently. And then when bitterness and fatigue try to poison your blood, and they will, you will deploy gratitude resistance. Understand this, most gratitude teachings are weak, soft, sentimental. Yours must be militant. Daily you will make yourself confront not only what is good but what could have been worse. You will see your challenges as sacred training, not curses. You will not whimper about hardship, you will thank it, sharpen yourself against it, grow stronger because of it. Bruce Lee mastered this energy. Every injury, every rejection, every obstacle he faced, he transmuted into fuel. He did not merely survive resistance, he weaponized it. So will you. Every morning you will find one thing to weaponize into gratitude, and in doing so you will become untouchable. And finally, you must understand the rarest principle of all, building invisible assets. Most people seek immediate recognition. They crave applause, validation, the cheap drug of attention. You must seek none of it. You must work in silence, building skills, networks, character, leverage so deep that by the time the world sees the surface, the roots are already too deep to destroy. Miyamoto Musashi lived this with merciless precision. He fought duels not for glory but for mastery. He built strategies in private, perfected his blade in isolation. By the time he unleashed himself upon the world, it was too late for anyone to stop him. You are building invisible assets now. Every book you study, every network connection you nurture without obvious gain, every skill you develop at night while others scroll and snore, every mental discipline you enforce while the herd panics. Bold line, what the world cannot see, it cannot stop. Bold line, silence is not absence, it is strategy. You must fall in love with being underestimated, with being unseen, with being doubted. You must become so lethal, so inevitable, that one day they will look at you and wonder where you came from. And you will know the truth, you came from the silent places where only the disciplined dare to walk. And when the day comes, and it will come, when the world finally turns its eyes to you, when your empire begins to rise from the fog, when your power becomes undeniable, you must remember this. That moment is not the victory. The daily unseen battles were the victory. You are not rising to greatness. You are revealing it. You are not becoming extraordinary. You are exposing what discipline already created. Most will never make it here. They will flee. They will bargain. They will break. You will not, because by now you have tasted the cost of discipline and found it lighter than the weight of regret. You have felt the sting of daily sacrifice and found it sweeter than the poison of mediocrity. You have seen the battle for your mind and you have decided to win. And now I leave you with a final challenge. One that will not be easy. One that will not be quick. One that will, if you accept it, brand your name into the bones of time. Live every day as if your future self is watching you and judging you without mercy. Build the invisible asset. Feed your mind without applause. Move your body without negotiation. Sharpen your focus without distraction. Audit your soul without excuses. Fight the war for inches every day, and over decades you will have built something so rare that history itself will not be able to ignore you. This is your final frame. This is your great reckoning. This is the hour you choose whether you will be remembered or forgotten. Rise. Now, most people will leave today unchanged, not because they lack knowledge, not because they lack desire, but because they never understood the final law: information does not equal transformation. You have been trained by a distracted world to consume and forget, to know without becoming, to admire without embodying. But you, if you have listened, if you have stayed this far, you are not most people. You are here because some deeper part of you refuses to die as average, because some ancient flame inside you knows that change is not an act of chance, but an act of war against yourself. You now stand at the real threshold. The battle not for your attention, not for your ambition, but for your subconscious identity. Because in the end, you do not rise to your goals. You fall to your patterns. And your patterns are not controlled by logic. They are controlled by programming. Programming written in repetition, in ritual, in emotion, in relentless embedding until the mind stops questioning and starts obeying. Understand this. Your brain is a machine of survival, not success. It resists change because change feels like death. You must override that machine by overwhelming it with new orders, clear, repeated, unforgiving. The 10 habits you have been given here are not ideas to ponder. They are commands to install. Morning clarity, micro-commitments, movement. Every day. Strategic silence, single-task focus, evening audit, micro-learning, gratitude resistance, building invisible assets, identity sculpting. You must take these out of the realm of thought and drive them like nails into your subconscious mind until they are no longer efforts, they are instincts, until you rise and clarity is automatic, until you move and energy is automatic, until you focus and excellence is automatic, until you audit and correction is automatic, until you build silently, gratefully, daily, automatically. This will not happen by wishing. It will not happen by motivation. It will only happen by ritual repetition. That is why you must replay this message tonight, tomorrow, every night for the next 30 nights at least. You must listen when you are awake, when you are drifting, when you are falling asleep, especially before sleep, because the brain's defenses fall then, the conscious mind relaxes, the gates of the subconscious swing open. Into that sacred space you must pour this new programming like molten steel, not once, not twice, relentlessly, until your mind stops fighting it, until your cells vibrate with it, until your old identity is burned down and the new one rises, undeniable, unstoppable. Bold line, repetition is the language of the subconscious. Speak it fluently or be ruled by patterns you never chose. Bold line, you will not wake up transformed. You will program yourself transformed. You have already planted the seeds. Now you must saturate the soil. Saturate it with ritual. Saturate it with fire. Saturate it with attention, so pure that the old weeds of laziness, distraction, and weakness have no air left to breathe. Every night, hear these words until they are not words anymore, until they are weapons, until they are instructions, so deeply embedded that even in your exhaustion, even in your sadness, even in your failure, you rise and execute because you have become the executioner of your old self. No ceremony, no applause, only the silent evolution from thought to instinct. This is the difference between those who dream and those who dominate. Those who dream memorize ideas. Those who dominate embody new instincts. You are here to dominate, and so you will condition your mind like a soldier conditions muscle memory, not by grand events, but by endless tiny drills until precision is unconscious. Every repetition of this message is a hammer strike. Every listening session before sleep is a carving blade. Every reinforcement is another layer of unbreakable armor built around your soul. Do not allow yourself the indulgence of remembering it. Memory is too weak. You must embed it until forgetting is impossible, until deviation feels unnatural, until excellence feels inevitable. Play it when you are strong. Play it when you are weak. Play it when you are winning. Play it when you are losing. Do not negotiate with your subconscious. Command it. Drown it in discipline. Feed it with greatness until it drowns in anything less. Because if you do not program yourself, the world will, and the world will not program you for greatness. It will program you for distraction, for mediocrity, for fear, for comfort disguised as death. The world is not your friend in this battle. Your subconscious will either be your slave or your executioner. Choose. You are not helpless. You are the programmer. You are the sculptor. You are the architect. Every word you allow into your mind is a tool. Every thought you repeat is a blueprint. Every ritual you install is a seed that will bloom or rot, depending on what you feed it. This is your power. This is your terror. Choose your repetition wisely. You have been given the blueprints. You have been shown the invisible weapon. Now you must forge them through repetition that does not ask how you feel, that does not check the weather, that does not check the clock. Ritual over reason, identity over impulse, embodiment over inspiration. You are not memorizing ideas. You are burning a new nervous system into existence. Every night you replay this message. Every time you saturate your subconscious with these truths, you are hammering a new destiny into being, not at once, not by miracle, but by repetition so relentless that even fate must yield. You will wake up months from now and find that you move differently, think differently, react differently, not because you tried harder, but because you became different. It will seem invisible at first. You will not notice the tectonic shifts until they are irreversible, until one day the old impulses, the laziness, the hesitation, the self-doubt feel like distant memories from a life you no longer recognize, and you will realize you did it. You did what almost no one else had the patience to do. You rewired yourself by force of will and ritual. You created inevitability inside your own veins, and from there is no ceiling, there is no chain left to break, only climb, only war, only creation. So now, final command, comment the line that hit you hardest, then play this video again tonight and let it rewire your subconscious. Replay it until your mind bleeds it. Replay it until your doubts suffocate. Replay it until greatness becomes your normal temperature, until success becomes your breathing rhythm, until your old life crumbles from the vibration of the new self rising inside you. Do not stop.